Are you a Tesla owner and tired of burning literally through money, spending it on buying new rear tires? Stick around, watch today's video as I'm going to show you how you can stop wasting money and burning your rear tires out. We have the Juniper's rear tire here, and it's very difficult for you guys to see kind of the camber here, but here is the proof in the pudding. I have a level here that's touching the rim, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to film this by myself, and if you take a look, you can tell it is not level. Now granted, we're also on the street, so it does throw it off, but you kind of see if I move this out a little bit, how that little leveling bubble levels it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix that. Before we go ahead and start today's video, I wanted to go ahead and send a huge shout out to Grumpy GI Gear for supporting today's channel. They provided this cool shirt for me to wear, and I wanted to go ahead and thank them very much for supporting all of the veterans out in the US of A. Now, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. What is happening, automotive fanatics? It's Peter, your automotive fanatic, coming at you guys with another DIY installation and review. I would like to talk to you Tesla owners today, more specifically the newer generation of the Juniper Model Y. Any Tesla that you own up to this point, you are going to have excessive camber wear in the very back as well as the front. A company called Unplugged Performance, they created what are called camber arms, which I am going to install on a newer generation Juniper today. You've got the billet camber arm from Unplugged. Now you guys are asking me, why do you want to install these? And I'm going to tell you why. Out of the box, every single Tesla that comes from factory is notorious for burning the rear tire wear due to excessive camber as well as out of whack toe. Now from factory you do have the option of adjusting toe, but it is a little limited. Companies like Unplugged Performance have created camber arms to allow you to fully adjust your camber, to reduce it, and to prolong your tire life. Now again, this is a billet camber arm from Unplugged. It's essentially a beautiful piece. You've got their logo right here, and it really allows your alignment shop to properly offer your Tesla a correct camber because it is adjustable. Not only is it adjustable, the reason why you do want to add something like this, it just makes your car handle better because now your alignment is proper. You've got better contact within the road due to proper alignment. Installation is not going to be terribly difficult. You're going to essentially need two 21 millimeter open wrenches or sockets, or combination of. You need a way to safely lift the vehicle, and you're going to need some tools to remove the lower rear panel off of your Model Y Juniper. So without further ado, I'm going to dive right in. We're going to install this, and as a bonus, you guys can kind of see here, I am also going to add onto this Juniper an upgraded rear sway bar, also from Unplugged Performance. And the reason why we're doing this, this Juniper owner is a performance-oriented driver, And out of the box, the car handles okay, but when you add a bigger adjustable rear sway bar to the Juniper, it's going to handle much better. So again, let's dive right in. We're going to get that camber arm as well as the rear sway bar from Unplugged Performance into this Model Y Juniper. What you're looking at is the rear camber arm and alignment setup for this Juniper. You can tell this performance-oriented driver, they have H&R springs that lower the car. That makes having an adjustable camber arm even more important. So to remove the camber arm, you've got two bolts. You've got an inner 21 and an outer 21. All you need to do is you need to have an open end holding this. You want to have a 6-point socket, otherwise you could strip these bolts. So make sure you use 6 points on this one, to go ahead and essentially crack it open and remove the bolt to pull this camber arm out. I successfully removed both the inner and outer 21mm bolts. All I'm going to do here is you're just going to take it and pull it out. That is how easy it is to remove the rear camber arm. This is going to be a comparison between the OEM arm on the left and then you have the one on the right from Unplugged. You'll see that I installed the factory bolts in on both of the arms here, and the reason why you do that is you want to start out by matching the OEM arm before you put it in. Otherwise it could essentially be too long or too short, so I went ahead and did that. Now you'll also see my OCD-ness where I marked LOS, which stands for loosening, and I put a little arrow here that lets anybody that's working on the suspension or these arms know that if you turn it this way, you're going to be loosening this bolt, and if you turn it the other way, you're going to tighten this locking bolt onto the adjustable part of the arm. So this definitely helps out, and it helps me to make sure that I have properly tightened this bolt onto the adjustable part of the arm. So here you have it compared to the original arm. The rear camber arm is in, and as I suspected, what I did when I installed it, I just shortened it by actually one turn. That allowed me to get the arm in a little easier, and then I dialed it back so that it was close to the original arm. And to remove some of the negative camber, I lengthened it an additional turn, which should, in theory, add or reduce some of that camber. Here it is right there. You're going to see the inner bolt. And then the last thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and torque these two bolts down to 98.8 foot-pounds or 134 Newton meters. The proper way to do it is with this hub here. You want to get a jack to raise it as close as you can to ride height to go ahead and tighten this one and this one. So I will go ahead and do that with my jack, get everything squared away, and I'm going to tighten this locking nut here as well as this one right here. We're looking at underneath the vehicle, and this is going to be the panel that you need to remove to access the two brackets that hold the rear sway bar in. Now you'll take a look, you're going to see one right there. You've got some bolts that are sitting right there and right there. Altogether, I think there's maybe between 10 and 12 bolts, if that allow you to pull this panel off. Once you do that, you're going to see a couple brackets again that hold the rear sway bar. You're also going to need to remove that right there. That's a bolt that's going to hold the end link to the sway bar. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the 10mm bolts so I can get this panel off. Forgot to mention to you guys, for the panel, there are going to be 2 rivet clips here, one here and one on the other side that you want to remove, that allows you to pull that panel off. I managed to remove the panel, and now I'm going to show you the nomenclature of the rear sway bar. You've got one of the brackets that holds it in. There's one right there. And then we're going to move over and you're going to see that one right there. You want to remove the 2 bolts that secure the bracket. That's an 11mm. And I'm going to bring it over to that, actually right there. That's going to be an end link bolt that I removed. That is a 15. Once you remove that, you'll be able to pull the sway bar down. The rear sway bar is out. We're doing a quick comparison to the stock. Now, I went ahead and measured it. The OEM one, I'm going to call it right at about 23. So you'll see, oops, let's go ahead and bring this back a little bit. Yeah, you're looking at right about, I don't know, 23, 24. The Unplug visually is just much bigger, and even on paper you'll see it marks out to be 27. So you're looking at a substantial size difference. You've got more rigidity for that anti-roll, and the best part, it is adjustable. One important note that I had forgotten to mention, Unplug does give you larger bushings to accommodate the larger sway bar. This is going to be the bushing, or the bracket I should say. Here is your bushing, and to get it on, there's actually a slit right here, right there. You want to make sure that you are greasing the inside when you're putting it on the sway bar here. They also give you accompanying bolts that you're going to use, or washers, to get it on up there. So it's a very comprehensive package, and I cannot forget the beautiful logo from Unplug. The rear sway bar has been installed. I went ahead and put on the Unplug brackets right there. They are torqued to 22 foot-pounds. The end link bolt that you see right here is going to be 41, and with the color that Unplug does, again, it's just so gorgeous down here. It's just unfortunate that you cover everything up with the panel and cannot really see the beauty of the sway bar. Now that it's in, I'm going to go ahead and put the panel back and put all of those 14,050 bolts that hold the panel in. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and roughly 2 weeks after the installation of Unplug's rear camber arm as well as the rear adjustable sway bars, and I wanted to give you guys my final thoughts as well as a quick review of both of those items. Now, after the installation, my client had a chance to go down to the alignment shop and get their car properly aligned. What I wanted to share with you is some of the feedback that I got from the alignment shop. The initial numbers from the alignment shop, both the left and the right camber was out of spec. It was roughly between 1.7 and 1.9 of negative camber, which we all know is not ideal for longevity tire wear. What they did with the ability of the Unplug arms, they actually straightened it out to just a tad under 1 degree. So now that owner is looking at 0.9 on the left and 0.9 on the right, and I can guarantee you this is going to extend your tire life. So one way that you can take a look at it is the amount of money that you spend on the camber arms as well as having it properly aligned is going to really stretch out your dollar because now your tires are not going to be worn on the inside. The alignment shop also had mentioned that with the way that Unplugged created the adjustable arms, it was relatively easy for them to adjust. Now, stepping into the adjustable sway bars, I did have a chance to also drive the Juniper, and I will tell you, at slow speeds, you are not going to notice any performance difference in the car. It's just not designed to offer that level of performance when you're going 10, 20 miles an hour. But when I was able to actually push it, we did some clover leaves on the freeway entrance as well as exits. You really can feel that rear upgraded sway bar work. I guess the best way for me to really tell you is prior, when you are driving the vehicle, you feel that the front end, it steers and its feedback is very good. However, the very back, it doesn't want to turn in as easy. But once we were able to upgrade to that larger sway bar, I really felt on bigger sweepers and the clover leaf, you really feel that the back end of the car, it wants to turn and match the front end much better. So if you are looking for upgraded performance in terms of handling, I do highly suggest upgrading that rear sway bar. If you guys are interested, I will go ahead and post a link below to the Unplugged site so that you could go ahead and order anything pretty much for the Tesla directly from Unplugged. And for all of you subscribers that did come back to check out this video, I want to go ahead and thank you. And for you new subscribers that are coming here, I really do appreciate your support. Make sure you smash that like button as well as subscribe for future content. Until the very next time, my automotive fanatic family, this is Peter, your automotive fanatic, signing off.